The completion status is indicated by radial button. For those individuals who are required to complete a full evaluation, you'll notice that the radial buttons are not filled in. As each process of the evaluation is completed, the radial button becomes filled in. For those teachers on a less frequent evaluation cycle, some of the radial buttons will already be filled in. This screenshot shows a teacher professional project. To clarify, this is only required when the local Board of Education has decided to require only one formal observation of a teacher who received a rating of accomplished on the teacher's most recent evaluation, provided that the teacher completes a project that has been approved by the board to demonstrate the teacher's continued growth and practice at the accomplished level. This is only for those districts that have a board policy in place referring to the teacher professional project. If the district has determined that accomplished teachers will be fully evaluated only once every 3 years with only one observation and a conference and a professional growth plan or improvement plan along with student growth measures, then this is not required and may be skipped. And there are icons on this screen, and the icons may be seen on other parts of the eTPES screens. This icon appears when the item is optional and may be skipped. This icon appears when you're completing the evaluation form with an attachment. You would choose the file, enter a description for the file, and then choose the attachment type and complete the process. All teachers must complete either a professional growth plan or an improvement plan. Depending upon the options for forms selected by the district in eTPES, the district may or may not have available to them the entry of a professional growth plan in eTPES, but the teacher would still be required to complete that professional growth plan or improvement plan. This screenshot shows the optional teacher self-assessment summary tool, which is private to the teacher, and then the professional growth plan or improvement plan, where the teacher would begin the process for the professional growth plan, but the evaluator would begin the process for the improvement plan. Once the teacher begins the professional growth plan in eTPES, one of the first entries will be to indicate the type of growth plan. Self-directed growth plans are for those teachers who made above expected growth with students the previous school year. Teachers select collaborative for the type of student growth plan if they made average student growth with the students from the previous school year. So, how do you determine if a teacher is placed on a professional growth plan or remains on a professional growth plan? If the teacher makes above expected growth, that means the teachers who make above average or most effective growth with the previous year's students on their summative student growth measure rating in eTPES will be on a self-directed professional growth plan. For those teachers who have made expected growth or average growth with the previous year's students in the summative student growth measure rating in eTPES will be placed on a collaborative professional growth plan. And remember, it is always a local decision to place an educator on an improvement plan or professional growth plan. And how do you determine if a teacher is placed on an improvement plan? For those teachers making below expected growth with students, there will be an improvement plan. Teachers who make approaching average or least effective growth with the previous year's students, as indicated on the summative student growth measure rating in eTPES, will be placed on an improvement plan. If the state assessment value-added scores arrive during the school year, it's a local decision to place the teacher on an improvement plan or a full evaluation when the scores are received. But the teacher will then be on an improvement plan and must go through a full evaluation the following school year. Improvement plans are always directed by the evaluator, and it is always a local decision to place an educator on an improvement plan as needed for additional reasons other than the student growth measure rating. Student growth measures are going to be entered into eTPES later this school year, and training will be provided at that time. Once districts have entered available student growth measures later this school year into eTPES, performance and alternative component 1 through 5 ratings into eTPES, the system will then complete the calculations for the final summative rating. The system will convert each of the 1 to 5 ratings to a point value based upon a 600-point scale. This graphic shows how the scores on student growth measures and performance standards are converted on the original teacher evaluation framework. These score conversions would also apply to the Ohio Principal Evaluation System, or OPES. This graphic shows how the scores on student growth measures, performance standards, and the alternative components are converted for the alternative teacher evaluation framework. So why use a 600-point scale for both the original and alternative frameworks? The 600-point scale provides advantages. It accommodates both the 1 through 4 and the 1 through 5 rating ladders used as inputs in the evaluation system, as well as allowing for minimal use of decimals in the summative ratings.